I'm Terry Hutchins with AllHoosiers.com. I'm here with Justin Albers, Nathan Brown, Nolan Blair, where tonight Indiana gets beat by Nebraska 70-60 on senior night at Assembly Hall. Well, I'm not sure what you say. Indiana obviously didn't shoot the ball well. When you don't have Noah Vonleh and you're not shooting the ball well, it's a small margin of error anyway. And it was just one of those games that got away from them.
Well, I did think they shot well enough because they got it back to 52 all with 10 minutes to go. And then the offense just kind of stopped moving. They had the 2-3 zone working where they put two guys essentially trapping Yogi at the top so he couldn't penetrate the middle. And Indiana didn't put shooters on the wings, and then that kind of hurt them because Yogi didn't want to give the ball up to the wing. The fans kind of got restless in here every time they had the ball. The shot clock would go to 10 to 5, and then they'd have to settle for some bad shot. And eventually the defense broke down, and Nebraska, like Tom Crane just talked about, Walter Pitchford, who hit tons of shots early, hits a big three late, and Indiana can't respond. So I thought they made enough shots to get themselves back in the game, and they just needed one or two more to push them over, and unfortunately that didn't happen.
Troy Williams thought kind of stepped up tonight, maybe played one of his better games. If you're looking for positives, I'm not sure you look for positives at this point. You know, I mean, it was one of those games that they had to win in order to make Saturday worth something at Michigan. Instead, they lose. They're dropped to 7-10 in the Big Ten. And as I wrote in our quick game story that we put up online, I mean, really the story that comes out of this is that, you know, the only scenario really now for Indiana to make the NCAA tournament is to win 4 games at Bankers Life Fieldhouse next week, and that's going to be a tall order.
Of course it is. I mean, they were up against a lot. You know, even if they'd won this game, you know, going to beat a Michigan team who I'm sure would have had and still will have a lot of motivation to beat IU. IU's beaten them 3 straight times, both times last year and this year, earlier this season when Michigan was undefeated in Big Ten play. So I'm sure the Wolverines will come out guns blazing in that game on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, in this, you know, the Big Ten tournament, IU's going to have an extremely tough task. You know, maybe they win a game, maybe they win 2, maybe they get blown out of the first one. You never really know. But I think it's safe to say that NCAA tournament homes are just about out of the picture.
Tonight was senior night. They had senior speeches. You know, Crean talked about how, you know, Will Sheehy is a guy that hates to lose. You could just tell by the way he looked the whole time he was standing out there that he didn't want to be there. He was disappointed. And then, I mean, that was about as quick a senior speech as I've ever heard. I've heard a whole bunch of them, and somebody clocked him at 48 seconds. I mean, that was he was short, sweet, got to the point, said what he needed to say. I mean, what were your impressions of senior speeches?
I was talking to Sarah Gurian, who I was next to during we were shooting it, and I go, he is commanding the senior speech because he was literally going down the line, thanking everyone, and then he thanked his girlfriend who he thought was beautiful, and that was about it. And then he moved on, and that was, I mean, it was unbelievable. It was definitely the most directed senior speech I've ever seen.
Started with a walk-on doing 17 minutes and ended with a senior who scored almost 1,100 points in his career going for 43 seconds. But, again, I mean, I don't think any of us were real surprised, though, just knowing how much Will Sheehy hates to lose.
Well, I mean, I don't really think it would have changed much if they won the game. He's just a guy who, through his 4-year career, has not liked to be in the spotlight, has felt uncomfortable talking to the media, has just really not wanted to do anything besides play basketball on the floor. So we see that one side to him. Everybody says off the court he's a humble, normal, regular guy. And, I mean, we have seen nothing off the court to make us believe anything different. So I think even if they won the game, maybe he goes 1 minute and 5 seconds. But he's not going to be a Taylor Ware and give a 17-minute speech.
That's it for us from Assembly Hall tonight, where Indiana loses to Nebraska on senior night, 70-60. Follow our coverage at allhoosiers.com throughout tonight and tomorrow. And then Saturday, Nolan, Nathan, and myself will be on our way to Ann Arbor to cover IU and Michigan from the Chrysler Center. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.